Everything looked normal that Tuesday morning. It wasn't. Nobody had taught Sunny to do what she was doing. Nobody had trained her, shaped the behavior, rewarded it with anything. She had arrived at it entirely on her own, and from the outside it looked so unremarkable that they almost missed it completely. Theo Brentwood was a high school biology teacher. He understood how things worked. He understood cause and effect with the patience of someone who had explained it to teenagers for 13 years. He knew that dogs displayed attention-seeking behavior when they felt displaced by a new child. He had read about it. He had prepared for it. When Sunny, their 4-year-old golden retriever, started nuzzling obsessively at the left side of his daughter Paisley's head, Theo assessed the situation through every lens his training provided. Attention-seeking behavior, resource competition, mild jealousy response to a toddler who had been getting more floor time than usual. He had the framework. He trusted it. He was wrong from the first moment. Paisley was 18 months old. Red shirt, sandy hair, the kind of toddler who made friends with furniture. She had been fussier than normal for about 5 days. Not dramatically so. Not enough to trigger the parental emergency response. Just slightly off. She was eating. She was sleeping. She was walking around pulling things off shelves like she always did. Just a little whiny. A little harder to settle. Theo had noted it. He had filed it under general toddler behavior and moved forward. Sunny began her behavior on a Wednesday morning. She approached Paisley on the playroom floor where the girl was sitting with a shape sorter, lowered her broad golden head, and pressed her nose to the left side of Paisley's head, directly over and behind her ear. She inhaled. Long, slow, deliberate. Paisley looked up. Sunny held position. Theo redirected her. Sunny waited. Then she came back. The third time it happened in the same hour. Theo told his wife, Camille, over dinner that evening. Camille was a dental hygienist. She understood fixation. She agreed with Theo's read. The dog was seeking attention through the child. Classic displacement behavior. The following morning, Sunny pressed her nose behind Paisley's left ear and held it there for 11 seconds before Camille pulled her back. Camille noticed that Paisley winced, just slightly. She filed it. She moved on. By Saturday, Sunny had performed the behavior 14 times across 2 days. The same spot, the same side, the same slow, deliberate inhale held for seconds before she withdrew and waited to return. Theo's patience was wearing thin. He was certain now. The dog had developed a fixation on their daughter that was going to require management. He set up a baby gate between the living room and the playroom. Sunny sat at the gate and stared at Paisley for 3 hours. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Sunday night, Paisley woke at 2:30 a.m. screaming. Not the normal waking, not the adjusting cry that settled in 5 minutes, the full alarm cry of a child in actual pain. Theo was in the room in 30 seconds. Paisley was standing in the crib, both hands pressing against the left side of her head, face flooded red. He picked her up. She screamed harder. He took her temperature, 102.8 degrees Fahrenheit. He called the nurse line. They told him to come in. At the urgent care clinic at 3:20 a.m., Dr. Francis Alvarez, pediatric medicine, took one look in Paisley's left ear with the otoscope and sat back. "How long has she been complaining about her ear?" she asked. Theo and Camille looked at each other. "She hasn't been," Camille said. "She's been a little fussy." Dr. Alvarez showed them the image from the scope on the small screen. The left ear canal was severely inflamed. The tympanic membrane was bulging, approaching rupture. An infection of this severity, at this level of progression, did not develop in 48 hours. It had been building for the better part of a week. The child's hearing in that ear had been muffled for days. Dr. Alvarez said, "She wouldn't have been able to tell you what was wrong. She would only have known something was uncomfortable. The pain you're seeing now is the pressure reaching a critical threshold." Then she asked, "Was she pulling at her ear at all? Showing any signs of discomfort on that side?" Theo opened his mouth. Then he thought about the dog. The nose pressed to the exact spot 14 times across. 2 days, the same side, the same location behind the ear where the lymph nodes concentrate infection signals and the scent of inflammation pools. The gate he had installed to separate her from the thing she was trying to read. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. The research on canine detection of otitis media, ear infection, is clear. Bacterial infection releases volatile organic compounds through the skin and surrounding tissue. The concentration of inflammatory markers behind the external ear and along the jaw is detectable to a dog at parts per trillion levels. A golden retriever's 300 million scent receptors, organized in an olfactory cortex proportionally 40 times larger than a human's, reads this signal the way a physician reads an imaging result. Sunny had not been displaying jealousy. She had been performing a scent assessment of a location on the child's head that was producing an increasingly urgent chemical signal. Each time she pressed her nose to that spot and inhaled, she was reading a number that was going in one direction. Each time Theo redirected her, she returned because the number hadn't changed. When he installed the gate, she sat at it for 3 hours, watching a child with a worsening infection that nobody in the house could see. Dr. Alvarez told them, if the membrane had ruptured without treatment, you would have been managing potential hearing damage. You caught it just before that threshold. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Theo took the gate down the next morning. Sunny came into the playroom and went immediately to Paisley, pressed her nose to the same spot behind the left ear, held it for a moment, then lifted her head and lay down beside the girl on the carpet. She didn't check the spot again after that. Camille stood in the doorway watching. She thought about the 14 times across 2 days. The same side, every time, without variation. The patience of an animal sitting at a gate for 3 hours because something was wrong and she couldn't figure out why. No one was doing anything about it. She sat down on the carpet beside them. Paisley put her hand on Sunny's back, the way toddlers do, flat-palmed, patting, rhythmless. Sunny exhaled once and didn't move. What does your dog keep returning to that you haven't been able to explain? Drop it below. We read every one.